We're here. We made it. We certainly hope that everyone's been keeping well. Welcome to the Christopher Lafayette podcast show. We have another episode for you today. A very special guest from South America. An expert in technology, with the acronym of XR, meaning extended reality. We're really happy to welcome Juan Manuel Escobar. Juan, welcome.
Christopher, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor to be here and talk about and connect from Colombia. I'm in Colombia, so it's so nice to be here.
We have many things to cover. Let's chop wood. Who is Juan Manuel Escobar?
Well, I'm an audiovisual creator. I'm a visual artist. I studied visual arts and then focused on documentary and live action, short films and cinema. And in 2015, I started working in technology, in virtual and augmented reality specifically. And since then, I have been focusing on the technology in Latin America, on how we can create a community around XR in Latin America. I worked with an American Colombian company that was called VR Americas. Then I partnered with another company that was Metro New Media. And since December of last year, I created my studio, that is Aroa Studio, where we focus on projects in virtual and augmented reality for different industries. And that's a that's a very wide range of who I am.
For the audience that's with us today, we hear the words Latin America, and we think we may understand what that means from our lens, but from your lens, for how you live, for who you are, what is Latin America?
What is Latin America?
Yes.
Latin America is a very unexplored place. It's an amazing place with a lot of creativity, with a lot of potential, with huge potential in the next years. And in the technology part, I think we are growing at a very fast pace. Latin America is music. Latin America is a lot of sound. Latin America is happiness. You hear a lot of Latin America, but I think people hear a lot of bad things. But it is a very small part of who we are, really.
For our audience listening with us, many of you know that I'm such an advocate and such a fan of greater culture imbued in technology, and that culture and technology are one and the same. And looking at it from the creativity lens and the art experience of having more communities globally participate in the great build of what we call extended reality. As I've often said, that if we're going to extend reality, then we must bring reality with it. With that said, I personally have been seeing such a great explosion of artistry and creativity, technology, ingenuity coming from places in South America, the Latin America community. In the face of this and what we're looking at today, tell me about technology in Latin America. What does it look like and how has it grown over the years? And what are some of the contributions that you're seeing directly and that you're experiencing when we look at extended reality for augmented and virtual reality technology?
I'm going to go back a couple of years, maybe to the 2018. I started looking at Latin America to see who was working on XR, who was working with virtual and augmented reality. We had a vision that this only happened maybe in the United States or maybe in Europe. And we were a very small group working on these technologies in Latin America. But the truth is, when we start looking and asking in other countries what was happening and started looking for people who were working on XR, we found a lot of people on a lot of industries. And that's where I thought that maybe we should connect and that we need to connect, because we were working very separately in each of the countries, inside Colombia and in Chile, in Mexico, in Brazil, in Peru, in Argentina. There were small groups that were working on XR, but we didn't talk with each other. So I created a group that is called XR LATAM. I created it last year, and since then we have almost 300 people from 14 countries that are working on XR. And it is not only developers, it is CEOs, artists, directors, producers. We have a lot of range of the business in Latin America. We have a huge difficulty in Latin America, and is the access to headset and hardware. And that's why on the community, we would like to work on that, to show that there is a potential business here. We are prepared to work on XR. In different countries, we can have very produced work. And maybe you have seen in different events, in Cannes, in Venice, in South by Southwest, and all these big festivals, you always see some product of Latin America, some short film from Latin America. It's not a huge representation, but I think it's growing very fast. And it's growing fast that now we have, from October until December, we have more than 25 events going on XR, only XR. So there's a huge potential here. We want to show what we do. We want to show that we have a good and a solid base on development in XR. And that's why we came together, and we are working very closely between the countries. And since then, there have been creation of associations in different countries. Before we started with the group, there was the association in Brazil, XRBR. There was the association in Chile, which is led by Oscar Cartagena. And we didn't have any more associations or XR associations in Latin America. Here in Colombia, we started developing the association like 2 years ago, but until this June, I'm sorry, we formally created it. And now we have XRCOL, that is the association in Colombia. But now there is XR Peru, XR Panama. Argentina now has a big group in XR, led by Mariano Capone and Damian Kirchner. Mexico has a very big group of people working on XR. So we have a lot to do, and we are very happy of what is being going on here in Latin America around these technologies.
Let's look at this and explore. Let's go further, Juan. Argentina, Peru, Chile, and Santiago, Bogota. All the different areas that we see and that we know of and that we've heard and visited and spent time in Latin America. As a technologist to another technologist, where do I go to meet with other technologists, other explorers, other pioneers? It's a rather big area. Where do I start? Tell me, as my guide to lead me closer and further into your world, into your countries. Where do I begin?
Well, the good thing about what is happening here in Latin America is that with the group we are creating, there's a place you can go and you can ask and you can find the people there. You don't have to go and start looking at the different countries to find what is going on in Latin America. So the good thing about the group XR LATAM is that you will find a lot of people there. You will find the reference people from each of the countries. So for example, if you want to do something in Colombia, you can find the people there. If you want to do something in Ecuador, you will find the people there. If you want to do something in Chile, you will find the people there. And that goes to Mexico, Paraguay, Argentina, Panama, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Uruguay. So that's the big idea around this group, because I think companies are looking for specifics in each country, but as soon as they figure out that we are a lot of people working on this and that we are united and that we are a group, a solid group, not only a solid group that talks each other on a WhatsApp group, but a solid group that helps each other, that can guide or help in a project with different abilities, that can put on the table maybe people to work on, and experience and expertise. That's where we want to go, and that's what we want to show, that Latin America can have very good projects, and that has very good projects on XR. I think we lack, or we were missing, the idea of looking inside Latin America. We all were looking outside Latin America, and we live here, but in the countries we were looking, Europe, United States, Asia, and see what was going on. But as soon we start looking inside our countries, we really find gold, and we want to continue looking there.
Let's go further back. Let's journey further back. Let's start to where it began for you. You growing up in a world where technology may not be as abundant in some places as it is in others when it comes to accessibility, when it comes to creative tools and democratization. What was it for you growing up, and how did you get introduced into extended reality?
Well, for me, growing up in Colombia, I have to say was amazing and is amazing. Here in Colombia, where I grew up, and from my where I stand, I'm I had a huge of possibilities. So I grew in a family where, for example, I had a video camera since I was little. a photography camera and a still photography camera. And that's where it all started. I recorded the videos of my family. Um, I was the cameraman on the family trips, and then I studied visual arts with an audiovisual emphasis, and that's where it all started. And in 2015, after doing commercials, TV commercials, music videos, and documentaries, I turned to extended reality. The thing in Colombia is that there's a lot of places that are not connected, uh, and that's where the limit for this kind of technologies is difficult. But I think that on the difficult side, we have found solutions for that. So you can find people that are working on very far away communities that are taking XR to the people there. We have been working on projects to create or to give them the the tools to create XR projects. So we go to the distant community, and we take the tools, take the camera, 360 camera, and we try that the technology part is not a limitant. So that's where we work. We give them all the tools. We take in charge of the technical part, so they can tell the story. And in Latin America, I think that is what we are trying to do, and that's where a huge amount of the projects are going, and is to tell our stories. Where do we come from? What is happening in our society? Um, what is to live in a Latin American country? What is to experience a situation in a Latin American country? And we can see that in the festivals that have been going on this year and last year, that a lot of the projects go on the social side of the business. Um, is more a documentary, or go more on the documentary side. And I think it's amazing because it's very different of what is going on different countries.
And tell me of these stories. What stories do you want to share? And what stories are you seeing now that is accessible for all of us to partake? And on top of that, what's the long vision? What do you like about what you're seeing now today in Latin America technology? And what more would you like to see?
Some of the projects we have been working on or we have seen in Latin America, for example, in Colombia, there is the Colombian uh, trans community. So we have been working with them so they can tell their story, what is to be a trans woman, what is to be a trans woman in Colombia, what is the risk of being a trans woman in Colombia. And we are giving them the tools to tell their story in virtual reality. So we have been working with them, and it has been an amazing experience of using technology to show these stories. It's different to tell a story on a flat screen than to be with a trans woman that is telling you what is to live in Colombia, what is their experience, what are their vision on the world, what are their difficulties. So it has been an amazing experience. We are also looking at projects from artists in Latin America. So, for example, painters, sculptors, and plastic artists that we didn't knew about, but now we are seeing it in virtual reality projects. We are seeing, for example, there is a beautiful project in Argentina that is very personal. The artist is Diego Comper, and he told the story of his family. In his When he was little, he told the story of his grandparents, where he lived, um, and is beautiful. It's a very Argentinian house that you can connect and relate in a very sensitive and emotional step. What others? Mm, for example, we did a project on on the how do you say, Mm, on the strikes and that happened several months ago here in Colombia. So people that had 360 cameras went out and started shooting what they could, and we did a documentary on that. And I think that kind of projects are growing very fast in Latin America, to show specifically what is going on in the countries using this technology. And to I think is this we may have heard a lot of this, but I think empathy is the key of this technology, and we want to show that's why we are using this technology to tell the stories that happen here in Latin America.
What is XR technology tomorrow in Latin America? What do you want to see? I mean, the way that we're able to tell stories today, right? The way that we're able to film in 360 and 180, and the way that we're able to create incredible pictorially illustrated canvases and digital resolutions and digital environments and full enclosured environments, and what we can see and share in augmented reality, and for us to be able to cross bridges to connect one another just from our headsets, just from the screen of our devices. What does it look like for you tomorrow? The great contribution coming from Latin America to the world.
Before that, may I say that we can have a huge contribution to Latin America, and with that, we can have a big contribution from Latin America.
Yes.
As soon as we get a chance to have a massive access, or an access to headsets and to the equipment to create these stories, I think we will have an explosion on projects. The thing is, here in Latin America, you are not able to find a distributor uh, on headsets, for example. We need to ask for them on the United States or in Europe. We don't have Oculus here. We don't have HTC Vive here. But as bad as it's as it may sound, we have been able to work on that, and we have been able to create very good content. But as soon we can tell them that Latin America has a very good potential, that Latin America has a business inside it, and we have access to those headsets, I think you will have a massive participation on Latin American content, not only on festivals and not only on the entertainment side, but also on the business side, because we are having, for example, companies in Latin America that are building simulators, that are building sorry, I missed the word. There is a project in Peru that they are building their own headsets, for example. There are other companies that are building haptic technologies. So as soon as we get to have more technology coming from outside into Latin America, I think we will have a very good production of content going from here.
Would you say the majority of the contribution thus far, early days, early stage of XR for all of us, but from Latin American culture, is it storytelling? Is that what we're seeing? Is that what we're taking in with the music, the sights, the scenes, the aliveness of the land? Is that what we are to expect as far as part of the richness of the contribution of technology?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think the storytelling coming from Latin America is very different from other parts, and the color, the culture, the music, the sound, the locations. I think you will be very delighted on getting production from Latin America, and to be able to connect with stories coming from Latin America. I think we are in an early stage, but I do see that in the next couple of years, we hope that we can get more content into different festivals, that people can connect with Latin American stories, that people can connect with the industry in Latin America, connect with people in developers, creators, producers, and all the range of abilities that are needed in XR. And I do see that Latin America in the next couple of years may be able to become a technological hub for different projects, not only for XR, but we are seeing a lot of interest here in Latin America in technological works, and people are getting into learning at very fast pace different areas, development, creativity, storytelling. So I think that you will hear a lot of Latin America in the next couple of years.
I've had instances where I've been able to sample and experience storytelling from Latin America, and it's powerful. Some of my as a 360 film director myself, with the background that I've had experiences of 360, and some of my very first 360 experiences did come from storytelling in Latin America, which for me was a transition of culture in a way I've never seen it displayed before. We're going to switch topics for a moment. Let's talk about Europe. What's the relationship that Latin America is developing with Europe? I'm seeing and been hearing for over the last almost 2.5 years, this relationship that's been brewing, that's been growing. We see platforms such as Stereopsa and Brussels forming alliances of good, strong relationships. Tell me about it.
Well, I don't know where it all started, but yeah, we have a relationship with Europe. For example, Stereopsia is doing their first event here in Latin America that is starting on Monday. I have been following that path because I used to work with Laval Virtual. I was a partner for Laval Virtual here in Colombia. So I think as soon as you show the potential business here in Latin America, it is a very unexplored place for them. So, and it is not a very high risk to get a festival here in Latin America. And you will find a lot of people willing to help those events so they can happen. So Stereopsia is an example of that. Silvan, that is the head of Stereopsia in Latin America, has been connecting with the Latin American community for the last couple of years. And they get to create a very big festival on showing the huge potential of Latin America. On the other side, with Laval Virtual, we used to create last year on the pandemic, where they were working with Virbela. We created like a place to start connecting with the Latin American community. There's the New Images Festival also, that has big connections with Paulina in Ecuador. There's a lot of connections with Argentina also, for example, Virtuality. And I think what I was saying, I think it's something that I was saying at the beginning, and is that we were all so disconnected in Latin America that all of us were trying to connect with festivals outside Latin America, and we found like a hand in these festivals. And when we start talking inside Latin America, we found out that we had connections with them. So we would like to continue with those connections. We would like to have those festivals here in Latin America. We would like to extend the invitations for other festivals to come here and show and have I think is also good for the business, because it's a different festival. It's another kind of festivals that when they are built inside Latin America and grow in Latin America, you'll find different kind of festivals that from is different that what is happening in Europe or the United States. So I think is good for the business to have diversity in all aspects of the industry.
I'm in so agreement with you on this, that for the audience, we must note that Stereopsa and Laval that we're mentioning are two great organizations in Europe, one in Brussels and one in France, and Laval, France, that have contributed and contribute so much, not just at events, but year round, with virtual and augmented reality. They're, to me, two fine platforms that I know that we share in such an enjoyment of having been able to explore with them, share and work with them on the wonderful things that they do, not just for Europe, for global contribution of XR to the culture, the minds that are in there, the ideation sessions that are in there. I know as a native here in Silicon Valley, I certainly do benefit from the relationships with them. And let's switch it over to Silicon Valley and Latin America. Is there a relationship there? If not, is there a possibility? What is the relationship between South America and North America that you see when it comes to technology?
There are some companies that have been born in Latin America and then go to Silicon Valley, and that's where they grow massively. But what I'm seeing here in Latin America is that those companies are coming back to Latin America, and they are big now. They have there are they are very located in their business. They are very they know their business coming from the United States and Silicon Valley. But what I have seen is that some of those companies are coming back to Latin America and are starting community here in Latin America and are starting to build their companies or grow their companies here in Latin America. So that's why I see Latin America as a place with huge potential in technology, because those companies are coming back here and they have the vision and they trust that they can grow and stay here in Latin America. I think that hasn't or that didn't happen before. A company that was created in Latin America, the first thing they wanted was to go to Silicon Valley to have investment there, grow there to get a global scale and a massive scale. But different companies are coming back, and I would like to ask, because there are Latin American people that has very good position in big companies, and we want to show that if they look to Latin America, if they look inside Latin America, they will have very good partners to create projects that start in Latin America and grow in Latin America. So I don't see it like we are disconnected, but I think we are going to be able to connect more and to create projects that start in Latin America or start in the United States, and grow the teams, and that Latin America has a lot more participation in those projects. I think that is the future inside Latin America. I think we will have more people working on these big tech companies. There are Latin Americans working on that, but as soon as they feel they are covered with the people here in Latin America, we will start to see more Latin American people on high positions in these technology companies.
With what I'm seeing and have been seeing for years in Latin America, in terms of the startup culture community, it's expansive. There are so many wonderful and terrific startups, the credible ideas that I see demonstrated all throughout South America, that I believe the biggest obstacle is that so many people just don't know they exist. It often happens even here in the United States and elsewhere, that from what I've seen, Asia, South Asia, Europe, is that there's terrific startups, but the visibility is so hard to gain, the market share and the audience. And some of these startups never have and see the light of day, truly, and never have an opportunity. And then I would say second, apart from awareness, would be the lack of venture capital and investment opportunities that just aren't there. And then third is accessibility of hardware, where we're looking at pipeline distribution for our countries, our partners, our friends, our allies, to be able to simply get a headset. I admonish to the XR industry is that virtual reality and augmented reality have not completely arrived until everyone, as the globe, has equal accessibility to participate. We just simply have not done our job yet, which I can appreciate the supply chain disruption and not just having the actual hardware available to sell is a real situation. We must find a way for the creatives, the pioneers, the explorers, to get access to this wonderful and terrific hardware that many of us are using every day in the building. Does that make sense?
Definitely. It all it makes all the sense in the world. As soon as we can connect and we can have a distribution here in Latin America, and as soon that we can get hardware here in Latin America, and as soon as we can have investment in XR in Latin America, this will grow massively.
Juan, I have a final question for you, and then a follow-up. What's the most important thing that we should know about your work and what you're doing?
I think my main goal is to build a strong community starting in Colombia and growing in Latin America. I think I'm investing all of my time in creating this. I believe in the community in Latin America. I believe we have huge potential, and I believe that we just need to connect more to show all we can have and all we can give from Latin America. My main goal is to have a very strong and solid community, XR community in Latin America.
My follow-up question is can someone like me that's not directly and natively from Latin America, could someone like me be part of your community to learn and to grow and to better understand your culture? If it is permissible, how do I do it? Who do I go to?
Definitely, and that's the main goal of our community. We want to connect not only with the people in Latin America, but to connect with people in other countries. So if you want to participate in the community, you are more than welcome. I can invite you. We have different groups. We have a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, a Discord group. We do sessions once a month. We try to do it once a month. So people can show their companies and tell the community what are they working on, so we can continue knowing each other. So if you want to participate, you are more than welcome, and that's what we really want to do, is to connect with people and with companies and with institutions on different parts of the world, so we can start doing projects together.
To our audience, I say it time and again, the expressed opportunity for community. We cannot have a metaverse without meta people. And at the heart of the metaverse, at the heart of technology and ecosystems that are people, not just hardware and software, but at the heart of it is community. And Juan Manuel Escobar, you and I have such vision and common desire to build these communities together. And for you, I would chop wood. Thank you for being a guest on the Christopher Lafayette podcast show.
Thank you, Christopher, for inviting me. It's a huge honor. Thank you for the space to talk about the community in Latin America, and it has been a huge honor to be here.
And for our audience, thank you for sojourning with us and exploring with us on another episode of Christopher Lafayette podcast. We hope that you're keeping safe and well in these particular times, and we look forward to exploring more with you the pioneer path on this trek. Thank you. Take care. Good night.